Oh, sorry. What's going on?
Oh my gosh.
I was
Sorry.
going to get in prayer hands position, and guess what? Chris Jensen wins the prize of a virtual hug for the first one to say hello.
Oh, virtual hug.
Yeah, Chris,
Hi,
thank you.
Chris.
And look
Always
who's
nice
here
to see
from
you.
Chicago.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
It's our digital nomad. I'm like, what's the term he always uses?
yeah. I saw his journey
Yeah,
on,
me too.
Route 66.
I saw all of it.
Oh, Marlo Hanson's. Or I
Hi,
call
Marlo.
Hansel. And we have
It's
Ryan.
Ryan. That's my cousin. Hi, Ryan. And he's
Hello,
putting
hello,
up a
cousin
little
Ryan.
bathing suit. All right, we're just gonna go with that. I like it. It's
Yeah,
Friday. It's
yes.
Feelings Friday. Anybody
And
watching, if you want to
hugs.
drop how you're feeling, feeling of the night, whether it's a word or a sentence or a yo, 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 yo.
Yeah, and Roberto's here, and Roberto's
Wonderful.
part of the one of the has a really wonderful live streaming show, the COVID show. He's one of the ones that I mentored. So you
Oh,
see it.
nice.
It's on a Thursday night at 9 o'clock on the Artist Core page.
Cool.
So yes,
Is that Roberto in the picture or are those like his parents?
I don't know. I
I
don't
want
think
to
he
know
has I think it's parents. But
okay.
yeah, virtual hugs are for the first one to say hello or hola. So no one has
The
said
first
hola,
and
Marie.
the 70 seconds. So keep trying.
Hey, Chris. Oh,
Hey!
Chris has
Oh my
feelings.
gosh. Oh,
Chris.
okay. Well, I think we can have feelings even before the cocktail, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I love that we had Chris what last week?
Last week.
Yes. And you ran into him.
I know.
Yeah,
Even
it was
in a
strange.
COVID world where I literally almost never leave the house. But yeah, I ran into our guest who I had never met in person. And I was taking a picture with my daughter. So I had taken my mask off and he recognized me and was like, Melissa? And I was like, I'm sorry, no autographs right now. I'm with my family. But then I realized it was him. I'm just kidding. I didn't actually say that. Yeah, it was super, super random. It was
Roberto
so good
says
to see him.
half
Yeah.
mom, half dad. I like it. So that would be mad?
It
No, no,
sounds
no.
like, yeah,
Dom?
Dom.
Well,
Dom, it's your
Dom
Dom.
is well,
Your
Dom
sub.
is a different. Yeah.
Half mom, half dad.
Hola.
It's like a
Hi,
some sort of
Piag.
creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
Hi,
Piag is a
Peanut.
wonderful chef from Thailand who I
Oh my goodness, so
work
good,
with. Yeah. So
amazing.
yes.
She's a firecracker. I like it. So Ryan today just happened to be laid back. Feels like a new life.
Yes. That's
I love that. I love that. And some days it's like I mean, life is like that, right? It can be like that every day. So it's cool when you wake up and actually feel that. So Chris said that was awesome and random. Yeah, so random. Such a
See,
small world.
I read that as random and awesome, but that's just my dyslexic brain. Um, I was going to say that is our motto: random and
Random and
awesome.
awesome. Or
Yeah,
awesome and
awesome.
random.
Yes, that's right.
Or ondum and rawsome. Rawsome.
Yes,
Since
and so
that's what
we're
we've been saying.
yes, we're glad everybody's with us, and yeah, so we can have a little show for you, a little bit here and there, and some bits, some little artistic bits, and just really checking in with everybody because we know we're headed into another, realm of shutdowns and COVID-19 related issues, and kind of back where we started from the first show. So we wanted to get back and talk to you and see if anybody out there who has any other kind of feelings too tonight. But
all feelings welcome, wherever it is that you're at. And I know that in some ways, I think for a lot of us, it feels like it never ended, right? Because it didn't. Yeah. And I know that I never really started interacting with people, which is a bummer. But even for those people who life isn't exactly changing for, there's this definite fatigue happening. And this is for all of us, I think, where maybe, back in March when we were like, okay, flatten the curve. We can do this. We can do this for a couple of weeks. Yeah, we're all in this together. How about maybe couple months? I remember I had it in my mind like 3 months. And, here we are, however far into this. And it does. It kind of, the lack, we don't have to spend a lot of time, Ruben and I, on like everything that's wrong. But I just think this is a marathon and none of us trained for it. And we're all still running it. So can I just give a virtual high five to all of us? Because nobody prepared us for a pandemic. Yeah. High five.
Sorry.
Thank you. Wait, I guess I go like this.
Yeah, sorry. Mirror size.
The Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is something long and strenuous that we never prepared for, you guys. And you're doing pretty amazing exactly as you are. And it's okay if it's hard. And it's okay if it's not. Like maybe you're like, I'm chill. Everything's good. That's awesome. And everything's good.
That's right. And we have Uli here, who
Hi, Uli.
I've been talking to Melissa about Uli and I's live stream puppet show.
Yes.
And that's I'm really excited about that. It's very different. It's gonna be, we'll get to it soon. We are working on behind the scenes right now. We'll probably mostly go to Twitch because it's a little crazy show, and that's where I don't know if you go to Twitch. Twitch is awesome. Twitch is some
I've heard
very
the kids
strange
hang out on it.
Yeah. So, and
Chris, the cool cat.
Yeah. So stay tuned for that. That'll be a cool live stream show. Very different bits, and it's like a not phonetic. Lots of stuff going on. So yes, I'm excited for it. It's fun. It's gonna be fun. Yeah.
We are all primed for the puppet show.
Yeah, we'll probably do a couple teasers here and there because we'd like to tease
with puppets. Yeah. Puppets are quite the tease.
Animated puppets. Chris loves puppets.
I love puppets. Well, you got a fan in Chris.
Yeah.
So Donnell said, "Staying present helps."
Yeah,
ooh, that's good. That is a very, very important point.
Yeah,
right?
and yes, because it is. I'm sorry, it is hard because, like I said, too, you can't go too far in the future with everything going on because it is a little bit unstable out there, and every time I go off in the future, I get a little bit anxious, and I try to bring myself. Oh, I do bring myself back to back to us, back to here.
To life.
That's right.
Back
so
to reality.
The present, the present. So, yeah. So let's go on to our song. Let everybody get comfortable, and we'll come back. Right.
Cool.
In the background, you have Tibetan bowls, so you'll be healed as we go along. Subconsciously, you'll hear them. You'll be relaxed. It's a positive transformation and a divine sight. Maybe not a sight. But
maybe it's like a feeling.
That's right.
Feelings Friday.
Sorry. And here we go. We'll be back, okay?
I wanted to escape for a while. Thought that a couple of drinks could ease my mind. I've been thinking of you for 2 weeks straight. I know that I need to get myself back in the game. Someone said your name had a turn around. Suddenly you're there standing in the crowd. Everything comes back in the blink of an eye. It's like you're mine, you're still mine. They skip the small talk, cause you know me better than I know myself. Oh, mine's been a while now since I saw you, but it feels like yesterday somehow. Time has stopped, nothing's changed, we're the same. And we skip the small talk, cause you know me, yeah, you know
Welcome to Cali Cocktail Hour. Sit back and relax and be healed by the sounds and the words of Melissa Funky Chicken
Wanted
Brown.
to escape for a while. I called a couple of friends and we went out, but I never thought I'd see your face. I really wanted to escape, but it was just too late. Someone said your name, had to turn around. Suddenly you're there standing in the crowd. Everything comes back in the blink of an eye. It's like you're mine, you're still mine. We skip the small talk, cause you know me better than I know myself. Oh my, it's been a while now since I saw you, but it feels like yesterday somehow. Time has stopped, nothing's changed, we're the same. And we skip the small talk, cause you know me, yeah, you know me like nobody else. Skip the small talk. It's been a while now. Skip the small talk. It's been a while now. Skip the small talk, cause you know me better than I know myself. Oh my, it's been a while now since I saw you, but it feels like yesterday somehow. Time has stopped, nothing's changed, we're the same. And we skip the small talk, cause you know me, yeah, you know me like nobody else.
All right. That was good.
All right.
That was called Skip the
And we're
Small
back.
Talk. Yeah.
I liked it. It was very zen, very calming. And with skipping the small talk, let's take our cues from that. And I get to ask you now, Ruben, how are you doing?
Great.
How are you?
Great.
That sounded really small talk.
That was
That
small
was like the
talkish.
smallest
That was
talk there.
yeah. That was the. Let me go back to the bed and bowls. Okay, there you go. All right. So I'm doing great. Oh, I'm not doing great.
Tell me more.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm
That's
doing
okay if
great.
you're doing great.
Sometimes I am. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and wonder what's going on, and I have to bring myself back to the present. I think
Do
creativity.
you ever
yeah.
wake in the morning and you step outside and you take a deep breath and you get real high? Do you ever do that?
I haven't tried that yet, but I think I will. That might be my next thing to do. Usually I'm
Sorry.
like, yeah.
If you were about to actually tell me how you are, I'll stop with that. So
Oh
you're
no,
feeling
no,
pretty
that's
good.
perfect. I like I said, I like down a road, staying in the present helps, right? And the present is our present. Oh, and so I get a gift for that. Doing the show with Uli, I'm a puppeteer, because that really helps me scramble my brain and not really think about it, because I have to be in the moment. And I think for me, a lot of creativity is doing something I haven't done before, and trying something new helps a lot. It gets me back into that moment of like, I don't have time to think about stuff. Or I mean, I do. I'm not trying to escape, but I have a moment in time you have to be. It's like when you write a song and you're on stage, once you start playing, I used to be afraid to be on stage, and then I'd think about it, freak out. And then when I'm on stage, it was like the moment. You have to be in the moment. So, or else, So, and that's kind of how, like I said, a lot of stuff that I do too. A lot of walking meditation right now, because I like, let me show you a picture I like doing these pictures too right now, because it really, kind of like, I love looking at nature's beauty, and I take a lot of pictures of leaves right now.
That's awesome.
So I like the veins and the artwork, and, I leave everything natural the way it fell. So that helps a lot too. So right now.
Oh my gosh, those are so cool.
Yeah.
And you shared one yesterday. I think it was yesterday. It was really beautiful. It had a lot of veins, as you call them, within the leaf. And it was just really cool looking.
Yeah, Mike. It's like nature puts, when you do an artwork, you like look at nature and like something that's fallen on the ground or something, it's just, it kind of, wow, that's beautiful artwork. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I wish I could do something like that, but you know. So,
Mother
anyways,
Nature. Yeah.
yes. Oh, look who's
Well, you
here.
can. You get to frame it, right? Like whether it's framing it in a camera or through
Yeah.
your vision, right? Right. Colleen, hello, is a painter.
Hello,
So
Colleen.
she
Yeah.
frames the world's beauty with a paintbrush. I think that's the really cool thing about being human is we get to be sort of like the kaleidoscope makers of what we see because it's different. You can look at a leaf and see one thing and I can look at it at another. It's like a song, right?
Yeah. And I like to love people. I miss people. I really do. I miss a lot of people out there. And I realize that I'm going to get in my, you know, my self bunker and try to do my part and not go out or anything like that and not put anybody at risk. So, and I kind of brought, you know, everything from my studio here again to get back into certain things I used to do, which is live streaming and being here and connecting with everybody. So I'm getting back to that.
Kind of hunker down again.
Yeah, hunker down, but in a positive way. So, you know, now that we know what it entails, then maybe we can have a little bit more peace of mind that we can get through this all, you know, we're almost there. You know, we just got to, there's like, this is the last part of the marathon, you know, it's like, we'll get there. So, yeah.
And this is at least the part where we sort of know what to do. As in, at first it was like, whoa, what? I think a lot of the challenge for me was just like, what do I even do? How do I grocery shop? Can I go to the park with my kid? You know, like all these questions. And luckily we have learned both scientifically and personally more about the world, the virus, the safest ways. Like those haven't changed a whole lot, even though cases are surging. Like I think kind of recognizing, okay, we sort of know how to race this right now. It doesn't mean we know how to win, but we know how to keep running. And that's enough right now, you know?
And that's, you know, that's kind of like how it, you know, how it is right now. So it is our reality. It is, you know, it is what's going to happen. It's, you know, the holidays are coming, you know, everybody should stay at home as much as they can, even though it hurts not to be with your loved ones, but it, you know, you'll see them next year. You know, if everything goes correctly, you know, we just got to do it this one time. And, you know, I mean, I feel safe that, I mean, I feel safe, but Californians are, you know, they're more mindful of this stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, I wish the other states were more mindful of what was going on and understand that this is a collective, you know, that's one thing. Yeah. So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. I saw this haiku and I'm going to forget the exact wording, but it said something like, we stay home so that when we gather again, no one is missing. We stay home now. I obviously that wasn't the right haiku wording, but it's very simple. It's like we make this short-term sacrifice so that long-term.
That's right.
Yeah. And it's so interesting because a lot of people are like, you don't have, tomorrow's not promised. You don't know that we'll be here next year. And those are the, dare I say, arguments or perspectives of people who are like, I'm going to see my family. I'm going to see my 90-year-old grandmother. And I say that knowing that for me, it's a choice I can easily make. I don't, I feel strongly in like the way we've decided to quarantine and kind of like masks or kind of like so many issues in our world. Making space for other people's reality is the only way I think that we, as like someone who thinks differently, cannot go crazy. Because it's really hard for me, especially talking about politics, to be like, well, no, like you obviously just aren't like reading truthful information, or you would think the way that I did. But anyway,
and you know, I would like to know how everybody out there is dealing with this out there too. What are you doing out there to, you know, become that moment and not get too far ahead of yourself? Because, you know, that's, like I said, staying in the present, it helps a lot. Breathing helps a lot. So it would be nice to hear from everybody out there, you know, what they're doing to help out. And Uli says, ooh, being nothingness. I love it.
I was going to say, can you read that?
Well, yes, Uli is a Zen master, so he...
Did he actually make a comment that literally had nothing in it?
Yeah. It's
How do you even
nothingness.
do that? That's a wizard right there.
Yes.
Yeah, anyone who's watching...
oh, thanks, Colleen. It's not off topic. This is all energy.
It's always on topic to compliment Ruben. That's never off topic.
That's right. That's right.
You did do a good job, though. I'll give it to you. And there's more coming. There's more stuff you created that I'm impressed with.
Yeah, I decided to put back more effort into it. I was like, well, and it's funny because I really kind of re-energized myself too, because I just, thought that it's time to bring back a little more, and I would say more effort. I do put a lot of effort into it, but there's some little things in the background that, that make more depth in sound and more visuals and stuff like that, different ones.
Yeah.
But thank you, Colleen. Thank you for noticing. I always think no one notices but me. Crying, my tears turn into pieces of artwork, and they turn into candles. But I do have.
People just don't even comment on.
Yes, I do have my mom here. I made a candle for her. It says Te Amo, and my mom, my birth mother, who gave birth to me. I also have Kuan Yin, the goddess of compassion, and I have Prince again, which is a candle I made of Prince. So,
do you sell these anywhere, Ruben?
No, I can make one though. I'll make one.
Would
for you,
you sell them?
Probably not, but that's okay. It's just
they're cool. I would. I feel like people. I don't even like Prince, you know that, but I feel like people would buy a Prince candle. I know.
Chris Macias, can I? Yes. No,
don't. Chris, I didn't say that. Never mind.
No. I make different candles for different things too. But this is something that gets me going in the meantime. So.
Yeah.
Richard, you want to read that one? Hi, Richard.
So Richard said, "Hi, Richard. I realize it's difficult for me to stop. So sometimes just stopping to take a breath and just look around me." You know what, everyone right now that's watching, let's do that. Let's stop and take a breath together. Even you, Ruben.
Oh, I'm taking a breath right now.
And just notice how our bodies feel. Notice any sounds in the room that we're in. Notice any thoughts going through our minds. Like, what is this? Melissa's trying to lead us in some mindfulness, which, by the way, I do this at the beginning of every coaching session because it's amazing how much better they go when we take some time to just land in the moment. And yeah, so I love that you just reminded us of that, Richard, because yeah, it's really easy to be human beings. Human doings, not human beings. We're just doing. Right? It can even be a coping mechanism. I know it is for me when it's like, let me clean, let me organize, let me prepare for next month, let me. Earlier, I was actually taking a shower, which is such a blessing as a mom that doesn't get a lot of time to herself. But I also had a lot of stuff I wanted to do. So I found myself just like hurrying through it. And I had one of those moments where I was like, wait, I was cold earlier. Now I'm in the shower. Let me just be here and like take some breaths. But I had to notice that too, that I was just trying to get to the next thing. And we do that enough. Suddenly we're at our deathbed and we've gotten to the last thing. So
yeah. So Marie said, "Thank you for the candles. I made a candle for her." Brother. Yeah. And I'm sorry to hear about your brother again, Marie. Yeah. So Richard says,
"Sometimes trying to center my energy when chaos all around me." Yeah. And I think that's kind of speaks to what you talked about first, which is like just stopping and taking a couple breaths. Because that sounds like a good idea, but a lot of times we're like, wait, how do I center my energy? And often it really is just trying to actually become aware of like, where are my feet? What room am I in? What's actually in front of me right now? Am I in danger? No, not right now. Is my kid in danger? No, she's asleep. Like going through the checklist of why it's okay to be present. Yeah. So I love that. These are such good reminders.
And I'm glad that people are, commenting too, because, that's what we want too, right? So this week, I told Melissa I was going to ask her to give me some quotes, send me some, and I would really love if people would join me, especially I know a lot of people do a lot of artwork, or people are shy about words that they write and things that they do, but I would really love to have people, send me some stuff. So mindfulness, yes.
So if you guys have any quotes that you love, or even even things that you've like realized have helped you deal with the pandemic, deal with this election cycle, deal with life, please do share them with us, because we really do try and be purveyors of tools, and especially with Ruben's artistic skills, taking those things and creating something for people to enjoy them when.
And then Roberto
said, intentional with your intentions. That's another thing we actually do at the beginning of my coaching sessions, is we set intentions. And that's so true. And I actually love that you said it like that, because we don't always like declare intentions. And if we don't, it can sort of just become whatever state we're in, whether it's frantic or pissy or, I don't know, forced positivity, when it's like becoming intentional about, how do I want to feel today? So often the question I ask myself is, who do I want to be in this world right now? Especially when things are really shitty. So
it's true.
I love that.
And, right now you're being transformed with the sounds of Tibetan bowl healing. Yeah.
I love it.
So, Ryan says,
I remembered where my players are at. That's awesome for me. Missing all those problems that like haze your energy, since it's all in one place. Ryan, I remember you were always really centered on being present, because ultimately what I'm hearing through that is like not being distracted by what we're always distracted by, right? Like things that we're worried about or other people's opinions. And so much of mindfulness involves just like getting in touch with your five senses too. That's a really great way to become mindful. So I'm loving it, you guys. Thanks for sharing how you do it and your tools. And I don't know if you saw that quote at the bottom of the screen, but this is one that I've really been loving. This is how it goes. Emotions are tunnels. You have to go all the way through the darkness to get to the light at the end. And that's by Emily Nagasaki, who is an author. And I love that, because it's like moving away from, mindfulness kind of applies here too, but so often it's like, how do we get to the end? Whether it's the end of the pandemic, the end of the day, the end of this feeling. And like that quote says, like we can't get to the end unless we're willing to go all the way through it, right? So, yeah.
And here's one of my quotes that I love. Nature does not hurry, yet everything's accomplished, which reminds me of trees. Nature around me, like trees just grow for no reason, but they give us life, they give us air, they give us everything, beauty. And they just keep going no matter what. Time keeps going, nature keeps going. We're in this pandemic, but nature's like, we got this. We're good. Yeah. So on that, I did tell Melissa to send me one of her favorite quotes, and I was going to put it together with some audio visual stuff too. And we're going to do more of this stuff too, but we'll be right back with a little bit. And you want to explain a little bit about this, Melissa?
It's just a quote that I like. I think I'm always a fan. A friend sent this to me when I asked, like, what do you think could help us deal with the election? It was on election day, and I was trying to gather quotes that could be calming. And what I love about this quote is that it's not just like, be positive, everything will be okay. It's like, it's okay to be in despair. And I'll just let the quote be played, because she can say that far better through my words, of course.
And here we go.
Hope is the fuel that keeps us moving toward healing, toward the better imagined state. But hope often keeps us from being able to see and take in the trauma that has occurred. And it keeps us from seeing how we protect ourselves from knowing this. Hope can keep us from becoming whole. You can't do surgery in rose-colored glasses. Despair is a turning point. In a state of despair, you see the bigness of it all. And because of that, you are freed from a world of simplistic duality, of there being an easy answer, of it being this or that. Despair helps you hold the complexity, which is the only real hope of healing. So we need to sit with our despair, sit on the ground if necessary, And we need to be able to sit with others' despair as well. We need to trust that the ground that has been burned by despair is preparing for the seeds of change, the seeds of growth. And we must be the faithful gardeners of this growth by holding our pessimism and distrust and risking our hope again. By Gretchen Schmelzer.
Do you like the church-like visuals?
I do. It sounds like I was in this big vacant cathedral, just with like bouncing off the walls. Yeah. I want to know, Ruben, what do you get from that quote? Like when you hear, basically, we need despair. Despair has value. What does that say to you?
Well, I want to say that I've heard that quote so many times because I had to redo it over and over again, and it despair was me trying to figure this whole thing out.
You hate it now.
No.
You lived it.
No. It was just one. It was great. I was definitely what do you call it? I heard it the first time, heard it the second time, but about the 10th time, it made me go through this thing of like trying to perfect it, and I realized that in maybe not the quote, but the process of because I did go to strangely to despair because I was not doing it correctly. So, but in its own weird way, I lived it. How's that?
Yeah.
So
you've lived this in some real big ways too. Which whatever, you can use that example. But it's like, I think, I don't know. Yeah, I think we can definitely be kind of toxic at times when it's like, oh, I gotta stay hopeful, gotta stay positive. And to be able to say, this is really hard and it sucks, which I say that a lot just to remind people that that's okay. And that you can still be a human being who is really focused on healing and bettering yourself and being a positive influence, and also recognize there's a lot of pain, and whether that's personal pain or world pain, that, feeling it all is being open to that.
Yeah, and you gotta feel it all, even if it's I've learned that in my life, so But let me go back to Ryan before the play before the quote,
Yeah. Because I don't want to let go. I have problems, self-centered energy. God is a central part of my life. Or this new learning to just be a leader. Lead your life like me. Yeah, that's. Sorry, the quote's gone. I was going to comment on it.
Oh, sorry. It's what I have control.
I remember it was a Modest Yahoo quote or song that said something like, "You're trying to stay high. You're bound to stay low. You want God, but you couldn't deflate your ego. You're already there, so there's nowhere to go. Your cup's already full, so it's bound to overflow." Different. I could just totally bust a rhyme right now. But I always like that because it kind of speaks to what you're saying, Ryan. I think a lot of us can relate to that when we have this like really self-centered energy, it can be really hard to connect with a higher power, which is really mindfulness and being present. That's how I tie all this together, whether you believe in like a God or simply the divine energy that I think comes out when you're willing to just really land in your body in the moment.
Hello, John. John's here.
Hi, John. Good to see you.
Oh, weird. Good to see you. You kind of predicted that.
Do they know each other?
Richard said that. Yes. Hello, Marie. I think it is. Before I go there, sorry. Oh,
Ooh.
Sorry. Colleen wrote something that is. I think you need to read this.
Yeah. Okay. So, from Colleen, feelings, whether of compassion or irritation, should be welcomed, recognized, and treated on an absolutely equal basis because both are ourselves. I plant with all my heart and mind. I clean this teapot with the kind of attention I would have were I giving the baby Buddha or Jesus a bath. Nothing should be treated more carefully than anything else. In mindfulness, compassion, irritation, the planting and teapot are all sacred. Thich Nhat Hanh, the miracle of mindfulness. Oh, I love that. I've always loved the comparison of something like doing dishes, which, Ruben, are you going to take the quote off?
You're all looking over. No, it's a barrier.
We're like, hey, it's like that guy in Home Improvement that just looked over the fence.
Yeah.
But that you can take ordinary moments in your day and make them really mindful. And it's funny because even as I read that, I'm like, oh my gosh, if I was giving, baby Jesus or baby Buddha a bath, I would not just like throw it in the dishwasher like I do this plate I'm washing or whatever. So I guess maybe it's a great way to challenge yourself to be more intentional.
And John says, I hate despairs.
Well, that might be because you're human, John.
Yeah. And toxic positivity is the worst.
The worst.
I love that. I do love that. Yeah.
Yes. Hi, Carissa. Carissa's here.
I'm sorry, John.
Gosh. I'm sorry to hear that. I lost a good friend to COVID-19 yesterday. I'm really sorry to hear that. It's definitely at a point where I think we're seeing so many more close to home because there's just more people. Yeah. God or a higher power giving us strength each and every day. Yeah, most definitely. Well, we're glad to have you here with us, and thanks for sharing what's going on. And you're not alone. Neither are the people, leaving us right now amidst this pandemic. I think it's such a strange moment. And, speaking to toxic positivity, that's why we can both, I kind of struggled with our, I don't know if anyone even reads it, but when we do the show every week, we have a little like intro that we'll post, invite, that's what we call it. And I was like, I don't want to say, here's how we're staying positive, even during the worst of the pandemic, or at least the worst that we've seen, because it's like, we don't have to stay positive. It's okay if you feel good or having positive moments. But I think it's a farce that's the way to deal with stuff. Like okay to be.
I feel angry sometimes. I get pissed. I get happy, you know what I mean? Like, then I go back, like, I'm just like the gauntlet of emotions, but I let them go. I let my emotions be my emotions and don't judge them. And it is going to be what it's going to be. So I try not to hold on to them. Even though, when you try to be positive when something's going on, and there's a certain point where you just, it just does not feel right too.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And let's say hi to Carissa. Carissa's happy to be here. Hi, Carissa.
Hi, Carissa. We're always happy to have you. You and your honey self. And
Colleen says, sorry, John, for your loss. And we are sorry for your loss, John. Look who's here.
Oh, it's Raquella. Hi, Raquella. Hugs and love right back to you.
That's right.
We have so many wonderful people with us tonight. And whether you're having the most wonderful day of your life, don't let us dissuade you. That's awesome too. If you're in deep despair and feeling hopeless, that's okay. If you don't feel like saying anything, that's okay. We do this show every week to be here and hold space for anyone who might be home and lonely and want to talk, or just want to feel like, how in the before times we would go to a coffee shop, or sometimes I would go to a grocery store just to be around people and like that energy and be reminded there's more in the world than just me, for better and for worse. And that's what we try and do every week. And Ruben's going to spill his drink all over.
I almost drank my feather. Sorry, the feather got.
Is that what happened? Yeah, he's becoming a cannibal over there.
That's right.
So we're happy to have you with us.
So we're going to go into another little bit. And like I said, I'm really encouraging everybody to send us some thoughts and some words so I can put them together on some little multimedia experience, or journeys, I should say. This is one of me and actually my friend Jared, who sings for the Lo-Fi Nows. It's an old recording I did at a coffee shop when coffee shops were open. But this is way back when Borders Books was the spot to be at. And it's also just me walking and my walking meditation of sorts. And so it really is what I look at when I walk. So it's not, it is a visual poetry piece.
Awesome.
I've seen my dad. And I'm alive to kill the time. What triggers the idea of la da da da. La da da da. La da da. La da da da. La da da. Well, I've lived this before. And why must we experience it? My curiosity kills cities of cats. That's that. La da da da.
That was it.
I loved it.
But I love that Carissa put. I love the buzz of the people. So.
I know. It's funny because as I was listening, I realized that as beautiful as the song is and the visuals, I was moved by just the casual chatter that we used to have in coffee shops, stuff that we didn't know to even think about. And like Carissa said, I miss it a lot, and it'll be really beautiful when we have it again. And this in between can be really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because we don't have it right now. And
Chris says, shout out to my Virgen de Guadalupe mug, representing my Hello Mexican roots right there. So
nice. Yeah, I had noticed that beautiful mug.
It is water. Yes.
Is it?
Yes, beautiful
is it
thing.
water?
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I've been learning more about my indigenous roots. So that's something that's kind of like you're torn between two societies too when that happens, especially being Mexican, because you're part 53% indigenous, and then of course the other part is European, which are colonized. It's a big you have to be what do you call it, good with both worlds, because then you're going to hate yourself. So
yeah.
Yeah.
How are you doing that? How are you making peace with both worlds?
Well, I really thought about like the show, and I said, well, I'm really into Eastern philosophy, and there's my DNA is Asian Native American, right? And so I realized that somewhere in my my DNA, a lot of Eastern philosophy comes my way, right? And also this indigenous, and I always felt that in my life. I never really looked for it. I did look for it about 10 years ago, but I kind of got to there was a blockage. So, but I get on YouTube and started to look at the regions that we were from, and looking at different tribes and kind of pinpointing things a little bit more. So it is very interesting. I'm on the first cycle again, or phase of that again, which started a long time ago, looking for my mom's roots, and because she passed away when I was born, so I didn't have time to talk to her about where we were from. And even though I talked to my aunt, she really didn't know what tribe, and so it's interesting. So I'll have more on that later on. So
I'm more interested as to how you're making sense of your different originations, because it sounds like you feel a little torn between the colonized and the colonizer.
Yeah, and I do, and I think that's one of the things that we have to look at. We have to what do you call it? Feel. It's like feelings, right? You don't want to feel negative all the time. You don't want to feel toxic positivity all the time. So you have to understand that this is your DNA, this is your energy, this is how, this is how I am going to be at peace with every part of my DNA, which is African, a little bit Jewish, Native Indian, Iberian, so I'm just going to find all my bits so I can become a whole person. And that'll be a lifelong journey. And, it starts yesterday. I mean, in a sense, yesterday. So
it's interesting the way you put that. You said, I'm going to find all my bits so I can be a whole person. And it's like, I actually envision you kind of scooping yourself together. Like, okay, come in this, indigenous part, come over here, German, Jew, come over here. And recognizing that two things can be true, that you are both already whole and that you're in like your conscious, logical information digging self, which I have as well with my history, wanting to understand yourself. And yeah, that's cool. I like it.
Ryan?
Okay. Wait for someone that knows you. Sometimes I meet a person out of curiosity, or I don't know, I'm new. If you sense that you're way up there, you are close to how I feel when unable to make my feelings clear. Happy, new, frightened, taking in life all at once. I'm going to just improvise that last part.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it definitely, new people can definitely show us parts of ourselves. That's kind of the neat thing about people, right?
Yeah.
Because people bring different things out of us. So,
well, and I think I'm going to go to what Chris said, I think, what we're talking about. So you want to read that? Because I can't
want you to read this. I'm going to need you to type that. Sorry, this is yours.
Chris, can you read this for me? So I want to say Gloria, because I know Gloria coined the phrase Neplantla. This is space between our people and indigenous colonized. Or, as Juno Diaz once stated, those who look like us were raped in existence, and unpacking that, which is true. I mean, that's the whole thing. It's I've learned that I come from a group that's called the Chichimeca, and they were indigenous. They weren't just one tribe or one people. They were a group of 5 in Zacatecas that stood up to the Spanish at the very end, and until the Spanish, of course, realized that they had to brutally wage war and enslave everybody to stop the resistance, but they were part of a resistance to the Aztecs and everything else too. So learning little bits and pieces, but you have to, be at peace with the existence of what happened. I mean, I can't hate myself or part of myself for what happened to my other part of myself, right? So that's just not what I do. I rather find a common ground between the two. I don't like what happened, but that's kind of like, I don't like what happened in my childhood, but honestly, if it didn't happen, I wouldn't be the person that I am. So I have to accept that too. So, see.
My great grandfather was German and my great grandmother was Spaniard. There's some mixes. I'm a lot Jewish and I've got some German and I think all of us likely, especially here in America, have got these combinations. And I think so much of it comes down to acceptance and being willing to look. I think that's the part that, especially if you're largely white or largely colonizer from whatever.
See, we need that.
We just noticed. He's like, hey, person talking about colonization, are you wearing a duck suit?
Yes.
Why, yes, I am. Because wearing this hat, I can take myself more seriously. Speaking of which, every year on Thanksgiving, the only reason, as you know, Ruben, the only reason I even have this outfit, it's a chicken suit. The full suit is a chicken suit. And every year my and I go stand on J Street with signs waving at the runners in the Run to Feed the Hungry. And we just are these fat old chickens and we dance and we bring music and we give everybody high fives. And it is probably my favorite day. I never feel as alive. It's so much fun. And of course, like most things this year, that's not happening because of COVID. So I just officially confirmed it. I was like, maybe they'll still have it. It's an outside run. And then I was like telling Michael, I said, we should just wear our chicken suits on Thanksgiving and stand on the side of the road so people can honk and we can say happy Thanksgiving. And he was like, I'm not doing that. Like, you already get me to dress as a chicken for a run. I'm not going to just go stand on the side of the road. I might do it by myself. I don't know.
I think you should.
It'd be cool, right? Maybe I'll make Tilly. Although, because the run isn't happening, I haven't procured a chicken costume for her. I had a baby chicken costume, but she's, of course.
How about a Peeps costume?
Ooh, I hate Peeps.
I don't think anybody likes Peeps.
Yeah,
So you got to make Peeps. You know, John says, "Bless your heart, love you."
I love how he's like, "Oh, bless your heart."
And he's going to be there watching.
I'll tell you where I'm setting up shop. I'll give a virtual high five to Carissa as she runs at a distance by. I know there's going to be people still running it. That's why I'm like, Michael, let's just go out there in East Stack, scare all the rich or fat chicken suits.
See, John hates. See, this is what I love about Feelings Friday, because you can hate here too, right?
Hate is welcome if it's directed at peeps and not people, right? That's the
only... we found the common villain, that's what I love about this, is we always do. So,
oh my God, what if peeps are secretly aliens that were like trying to take over the planet, and that's why we all hate them? Whoa. No one heard of a chicken that actually crosses the road or flies. He should get out there, blah, blah, blah. I'm loving reading Ryan's comments.
I'm all, Ryan, now you got to call Michael. Like, hey, Michael.
Come on, Michael.
John said he'll wear a chicken suit. So it is a trend.
Everyone who's willing to wear a chicken suit, just make a comment. I will collect these and actually force you to do it. We were on the news last year, by the way. Maybe I'll just share that. Oh my God, we should totally watch that next week, actually, because we were on the news.
We should.
But Michael got really nervous and he said like silly things. And he was all embarrassed for me to even share it. We were on KCRA 3, I think it was. Yeah, so don't be intimidated, you guys. But I'm kind of famous for this chicken suit.
And everybody out there, John Huerta is an awesome artist too, and a sweetheart of a guy.
Are you trying to take away from my chicken suit story right now?
No, there's another chicken. Watch this.
Where can I purchase a chicken suit? I got mine at Evangeline's in downtown Old Sacramento. But you could probably just like collect some feathers as Ruben does.
See, except for I have one over
How did
here.
Did you create that thing that you're wearing, or did you purchase that?
No, my Melissa bought it for me, which is strange because she thinks I'm strange sometimes. I'm like, oh, well, I guess it's perfect. No, it's been perfect.
I love that.
Yeah. And usually I have my Marachi pants, my lighted Marachi pants on, but I have to, So, but that's all I can do now. So,
all right. So are we playing that poem, or I don't know if we ever got that?
What we are playing is, well, first of all, we'd like to thank everyone for coming out, and we love you. And if that's all you come here to hear is that we love you, please understand that we do. This show is about you and about how we can serve you in a way, or chicken. We can't serve chicken because Melissa's
vegan.
So, and John says, "I'll paint chickens now." I love it. God. See, it's a new thing. And we're going to go back to I told Melissa to send me some visuals too of what we wanted to, kind of for the show. And let me see. Sorry, it's going to take me a little bit here. I'm going to bring up the visual that you sent me today too. The checklist.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Yeah. I was
like,
what did I send you? But
yeah,
this
and
is really cool.
Yeah, and like I said, we're not here to scare people into a submission, but we are. What you want to be more truthful about what is, what we're going to come in. It's a little bit choppy waters, right? But there is a lighthouse.
We're talking about the pandemic, by the way.
Yes. And
Ruben, sometimes I feel like you start talking halfway through like a thought, and I'm like, wait, no, this is what Ruben's talking about.
Yeah, I do. Trust me, Melissa.
I know what you're about to talk about.
Yeah. Well, it's good because usually people have to translate too. They're like, no, wait,
that's why we're a team. So we're talking about that we're in the thick of the pandemic again. That. You don't need to be freaked out and scared. That's not going to help or hurt anything. But because we're all sort of like taking a step back and hunkering down and more stuff is closed, we thought it could be nice to have a little refresher about, or even just like fresher about some great tools to have during lockdown, especially if you're alone, especially if you struggle with your mental health, just some ideas to ward that off.
Yeah, and also remember, we are here. I'm doing another DJ set after this. Because it's Friday night.
Oh,
I'm a night bird, or they call
that's
vampire brain,
awesome.
right? So
That's really cool that you do that, Ruben, honestly, because that is why we're here, is to hopefully join anyone that might be feeling lonely or might be like, is anyone else awake? Does anyone else, care?
Yeah.
Ruben
Hello.
does. We do.
So let's go to our list that you sent me. Where'd you get this list at, by the way?
I was just scrolling social media and it wasn't credited to anyone. I tried to figure out who made it because I like to give credit, but it looks like someone just conscientious who was like, hey, here are the things that I'm doing during lockdown. So.
And John says, strange is beautiful. And there is a light at the end. You're right. There is that light. So, and here we go.
So I'll just read this out loud. So isolation, well-being. So these are things that I suggest you guys just I was going to say save this, but I guess maybe I'll share it in the comments. Things to do daily: shower, take your medication, vitamins, whatever it is you might need to take, drink water, clean one thing or space. I love this one because it's like, you don't have to clean the whole house. Just say, you know what? I'm going to clean the oven today, or I'm going to clean my bathroom drawer. It can be super small. Just clean one thing or space. Tend something growing or living. And that can be an animal, that can be a plant, that can be pulling some weeds. It can be super simple. Be mindfully present to a sound or song, a sensory feeling, something that you see, a spiritual practice. I love those. They really touch on what we were talking about earlier. I love this one. Reach out to a human outside your home. It's really easy to, this is, I guess, true for people who do live with kids or a spouse. You can still start to get really isolated. And realizing that we do need contact with people outside our bubble is so important. So this is a big one for me. Do one thing to get your heart rate up, right? Get some endorphins going. Do one thing you'll be glad you did later. I feel like that's like calling the dentist back, or like today I had to mail something and I felt so much better after mailing it because I've needed to mail it for a long time. And it's like, having that thing on your list, just being able to check it off. Do one thing just because you want to, like whatever it is. Maybe you want to read a book. Maybe you want to eat a chocolate cupcake. That's right. And get in at least one good laugh. Ruben, how do you get in a good laugh? Is there anything that you turn to or watch or?
I turn to myself because I'm pretty fucking funny. I make myself laugh all the time.
Just stare in the mirror like.
Actually, well, you know what I do? I'm a person that likes spontaneous things that aren't like, I'm gonna tell, because when everybody says I'm gonna tell you a joke, I'm like, don't do that to me, because I won't laugh because you're setting me up. But now I have to tell you a joke. Yeah, I want trust me. But I like watching not bloopers, but one of my favorite things, like animals on news bloopers, where like animals just do weirdest shit, right? And like they're funny, and that's kind of like where it I like spontaneous stuff. So that's oh my gosh, me.
Ruben, I feel like that is a great idea for next week, is to start a compilation of like things that make us smile, whether it's heartwarming or hilarious. Because as you said that, I remembered how one week we played, I think it was like news bloopers. You played news bloopers, right?
Yeah, that's what I like. So
I love those. Yeah. They're my favorite.
Because I'm always like, what's going to happen? What's going to, and then I start laughing. And then I never guess what's going to happen. And John loves this list. And
I'm so glad.
He says he's bipolar.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, John. Well, thanks for you don't have to be open about that, but thank you for being open about that, because that's something that I am like kind of loving the day that we live in for, is that I feel like we are all being more vocal about, we go to therapy. It's okay to take medication. Like, it's okay to have a human brain that needs help. And that's why that is on there. So,
there is actually a joke my friend sent me because I wasn't expecting it.
Don't you dare tell us the joke.
No, I just said something about light at the end of the tunnel or something. I don't know. I was trying to be, overly positive, right?
Wait.
And he's from New York, and he said, let me say real quick. He says, reminds me of an old joke about New Yorkers. He says, why New Yorkers aren't optimistic? He said, well, there is light at the end of the tunnel, but that light is New Jersey.
Ooh, burn.
No, I know it does. I would never guess it but then I've been to New York and I've been through that tunnel and so it made me
I remember
laugh.
I went to New York and I went to Coney Island for some sort of like, I think it was a freak show, but there weren't actual freaks. It was just like a touristy, fun little show. And they asked the audience questions. And I forgot what my answer was, but whatever I said, the guy was like, "Go back to Jersey, lady." And everyone started laughing. And I was like, "I'm from California, you guys."
Yeah.
But apparently Jersey has a bad rap.
I don't know. I mean, I've heard that. I've been there before. I've been to Jersey before, so I'm like.
I feel like we could say that. There's a light at the end of the tunnel in Sacramento, but it's Bakersfield. Oh, or Stockton.
It's a big tunnel.
Oh, yeah, that's a shorter tunnel. Or Rio Linda, because I'm from there. I can put it down. Oh, I love Carol Burnett bloopers. Oh my gosh, I love Carol Burnett. Good taste. I read her autobiography when I was like 10, and she's actually on my vision board, Carol Burnett, because she's hilarious, and she was a pioneer in women comedians. So she's awesome.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, we'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight and, giving us your feelings, being out there, being vulnerable too.
Yeah.
And vulnerability is an untapped source, and it's something that is not very put out there, if that makes sense.
Vulnerability.
Translate.
Ruben just said
Google Translator.
Really glad that Joe Biden won the election.
There you go. See?
That's exactly what he said. Actually, I have an idea. I don't know if we're signing off for the night, but I think before we do, I would love to ask you my rapid fire questions because I've never gotten to ask you them directly. What do you say?
Well, can I center myself?
Please.
Into this Tibetan bowl healing.
Please get yourself together.
So by this time, it's an hour into the show. Tibetan bowl healing has been going on, this whole thing. Your body is changing, vibrational structure, your energy is changing.
Your emotions boys are changing.
Yes, your feelings are good. You should be more relaxed now. So I am more relaxed now. So yes, go ahead. Wait.
I like it.
My voice will change.
Our bodies are
I
self.
think I'm ready. I will answer in this voice.
That's scary.
Is it really?
You know what's funny is I was going to tell you you spelled Emily Nagasaki's name wrong, but then I realized I spelled it wrong.
Yeah, I just copied and pasted it.
It's just I wanted to blame you, but it was my fault. So
hola, Andreas. We have a what do you call it? A deep channel sneaker up. He hasn't said his name, but Andreas is here.
Oh, a deep channel sneaker.
Yeah, the one people that don't, I love it because on YouTube we have people that see the show that never, put anything on there. I love it.
Oh yeah,
They're
I do this with a lot of shows where I'll just not say anything because I don't want to have to answer for whatever I say, or I don't want to have to stay. But often I'm there and watching. So
yeah,
we see you. All right, Ruben,
yes,
you ready
all
for
be
this
seen.
question?
Yes, everybody help me, please. Type your answers in too.
Oh, that's actually a fun thing to do. So yeah, if you guys want to answer these, that would be awesome. Ruben, what is a concert you'll never forget and why?
Madonna. My first concert I ever went to. I
Oh
went
my
to
gosh.
her. Yeah.
When?
I went to the Virgin tour. My first
Did
concert
you
ever.
really?
Yes.
Where she was like wearing her cones and just like original Madonna.
Oh yeah, it was.
Flavor?
Yeah, and the Beastie Boys opened up for her, and they booed them off stage. They were just booing them. No one understood what the Beastie Boys were. That was the best part.
Oh,
Yes.
now why is it a concert you'll always remember?
It was my first one I went to, and at that point, Madonna was still a little bit underground. And I was still. Picture this, back then, I had lipstick on, smoking cloves. My hair was a little bit crazier than this. Actually, I'm pretty much the same. Yeah, pretty much the same. But a little more, high than I normally was. And trying to, escaping. It's what's super interesting because I think we all have different thoughts of our when we grow up. And I was telling my friend Lisa, I remember going to these clubs and they're underground clubs, and I was like, I escaped everything. It was the Vortex, Chris. I don't know if you remember that, but it was these clubs where Jerry Perry. It was first Sacramento clubs, and for me, it was a getaway from my growing up and my, I would say, not so good childhood, and just escaping to being a new romantic goth, not typical Mexican stuff. And my dad would be pissed. But Madonna was underground, and At that point, she was just getting there. So it was like, we're gonna go see this, and the Beastie Boys had their before they got big, and it was a cool show. So I always remember that because I was like, I was there. So
Oh my gosh, that's a really cool show to have gone to.
yeah, and hold on real quick, John. Yes, you're molecular. Yes, they're changing right now.
You are completely different. You're gonna be a lizard by the end of the show, so just watch out.
See,
Chris said, I reviewed a Madonna concert for the B one time, and her security threatened to kick me out. I'll tell the full story someday.
Chris, you should have told that story last week.
Tell us on the show.
Okay, Chris, we're going to come back and have a show of things that happened to you as a writer.
Ooh, yeah. I still want to pick your brain further, as I said. So we'll save that for that show if you'll come back and talk to us.
And
Diana Ross.
See? Everybody type in their show because that would be awesome to also hear you, what your... was.
We would love to hear either what was your first show and or your most memorable show. Yeah, Ruben, where are the pictures? We're going to need to see a picture of you at this age and stage.
Oh, I will. I have some. I mean,
you're like, oh, I will.
Yeah.
There'll be pictures. Yeah. We'll have you back on, Chris.
And that is going to be the tell-all.
Ooh, the untold story.
Yes, Chris, the backstories. Yes.
Yeah.
But okay, well. Sorry.
The backstage years. Okay, we'll go to the next question. All right. In the spirit of high voltage rapid fire. What is your favorite movie?
I'm gonna say probably Legally Blonde.
Really?
No. But it's one that there's some movies that I watch a lot. Legally Blonde, Still Magnolias. I was like, I know.
Do you really watch these a lot? Because I know. Ironic.
No, I think one of my favorite movies is either an Almodovar film or Amores Perros, which is So it is a very wonderful film. It's a Mexican indie film.
Okay.
And so my Melissa and I were talking about Mexican cinema and why there's brilliant film writers. I mean, I think the last 5 years that there was 3 out of 5 years that there were Mexican directors won for the Oscar or were up for the Oscar. 3 won. I think 3 won Oscars, and then 2 kind of Birdman should have won. I don't know why they gave it to the other movie.
Oh, was that a Mexican director?
Yeah, and he did Birdman some really cool. Yeah, so that's my thing. Or Almodovar. Almodovar is he's my favorite, one of my favorite directors. I shouldn't say my favorite because there's but he does these characters that are very flawed and a very beautiful colors, and just you could tell his whole backlog of stuff.
Like he's got some.
Yeah, I mean, he did. He won for. He did the most commercial film. He won the Oscar for, and so it was I even forgot what it was. It wasn't my favorite film. Pan's Labyrinth was my favorite film. One of my favorite films he did.
Nice.
Is it? Yes. Yeah, I think so. That was it. So.
I like it.
And John said Bette Midler. Or
he
Better
said Better Midler.
Yeah. That must have been the musical. I think that was the musical.
Better.
Yeah.
I actually love that. It's like the best typo. It's a better bet. Bette Midler. That's an awesome concert to go to, by the way. I love her.
Yeah. And then Love Amores Perros. Los Olvidados, one of my favorite all-time faves. Yeah, and Mexican cinema is really, really, really awesome because they don't pull punches. They're not happy stories. At the end, you're like, oh, okay, well, how did I know? Someone was going to pass away, or at the end, like you think, because American films are very, the ending is like, because they're big money, and so the endings are always the same. So,
no, they're not.
These ones, well, I mean,
I don't think that's a fair stroke to make. I'm not saying Mexican films aren't more like truthful in like their despair, but lots of American films aren't happy. No,
yeah, you're right. I shouldn't say that. I should say that it's just a different way of storytelling. It's just it's a Mexican way. Because people who have struggled and people who have had to have different have a different view of how life is. It's not happy. It's it's not things that happen. And there's that with depressed people, right? Who have these stories to tell. But anyway, that's what I like about them.
Yeah, cool. Okay, I like it. Okay, let's keep going with our questions. So, Ruben.
Sorry, someone met Bette Midler in the 80s.
Oh, nice. Jimmy Needham, probably is how I say that. Nice, you guys. Yeah, keep them coming. This is a fun question. Or your favorite movie. We can go to favorite movie now.
Yeah.
Okay, and Ruben, your next question, and anyone who wants to answer this, what is your favorite meal?
Chocolate.
Oh, chocolate anything or just a piece of chocolate?
Yeah,
You like
I
Ginger
guess
Elizabeth chocolates, don't you?
they're okay.
I feel like you used to talk about them a lot. That was the only reason I even knew what it was.
No, I mean it's yeah. My I don't want to be. My favorite is actually going to Oaxaca and eating chocolate with grandmas making chocolate by their hands. So that's something that you can't top because it's really in a mountain, in a town, in a village in Oaxaca. And
I would like a mountain of chocolate.
Yeah, they're grinding the chocolate, and you're like so. But
nice.
But in the meantime, yes. I mean, I like Thai food, Mexican food.
Are there any places around here that you've had like really good kind of authentic Mexican chocolate?
No. I mean, I shouldn't say no. It's just different. It's different from different regions. That's all. So, I mean, I like Mexican hot chocolate. I do. And that's something that I've had all my whole life. So that's something that brings, I think it'll bring people back to their childhood too. So
yeah,
I'm starting to sound snobby. So
you are, yeah.
Watch I know. I'm sorry. I am really sorry. And John said,
I actually only like water from the spring of Mount Shasta.
Yeah, come on. Hey, John, have a good night, John.
Bye, John.
I mean, I'm a snobby about Mexican movies. I'm snobby about Mexican chocolate, Mexican food.
That's okay. You're a fan of Mexico.
Tacos are my favorite food ever.
Meal.
Yeah, meal.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about if you were in prison and you got one more meal before your deathbed, like you were getting electrocuted or lethal injection, but you were gonna die? What would your meal be?
Tacos.
Tacos?
Actually, you know what? It would be a handmade flour tortilla.
Oh, those are so good.
Yeah, we used to not get to eat them when we were kids because only our dad got to eat them. So they were made and they were put in the freezer. I mean, the fridge. And our dad was the only person that was able to eat them that were fresh, handmade. So we would sneak in at nighttime and eat them, and my stepmom would get mad. But so I think that's why for me it's like it's something that elevates the
forbidden fruit. Yeah.
It's sneaky, yeah. Abuelitas, abuelitas is
chocolate, right?
Yes, and that's something that that everybody knows too. So
yeah.
Oh no, we have a Tower Cafe crasher.
Texarkana? I don't know that one. That must have been later than me.
I know,
or earlier than me.
Brad loves the Texarkana salad. It's like, which will be on the cookbook, Brad. So yeah.
Nice.
But yeah.
I was actually really pissed because I wanted a salad from Tower that I used to love. This was before the pandemic, obviously, and it was gone. And now I can't even remember what it was called, but it was gone. It was very heartbreaking.
Squirrel salad.
Yeah, it was squirrels because I love eating squirrels. Okay, we have to keep going through these questions.
I know.
What's your favorite smell?
What's my favorite smell?
Yeah.
The night after.
Is that a cologne?
It could be.
Is that a soap opera?
My favorite smell would be probably the ocean.
Oh, that's a good smell.
Jim Carrey.
Oh, that's a good movie.
Oh, okay. That is a weird smell.
I love the way Jim Carrey smells.
Yeah. Probably the ocean. The ocean would be my favorite smell.
I like it.
It brings me peace. So.
Yeah. What is the last dream that you can remember?
The last dream that I can remember. Let's see. I just had a dream last night that I remember, but I just forgot. So usually my dreams kind of like, when I was a kid, I would play video games and I get frustrated and I play. And then by the morning time, I would figure them out. So a lot of my dreams are problem solving dreams. So if I work on something, I know that by the end of the next morning, I will figure it out. So,
like if you have a problem, your brain will sort of sort it out.
Yeah. And that's why I can't sleep sometimes. I'll wake up in the one night and like, okay, that's it, or you can't figure this out. So usually I'm pretty good at my dreams as far as like, if I have like a bad dream, I'm a lucid dreamer. So I'm able to go back into the dream and change the outcome of the dream. If that makes sense. Like, I didn't like the way that ending. You know, I'm like, I don't like the way that end. I don't know what it was. And a lot of times I realize I'll laugh in the middle of the night because I know that, let's say I was watching, what do you call it? What was it?
News bloopers.
Yeah, or news blooper. Yeah, something like that. Usually it's actually when I watch something dark. So, like I was watching The Wire. I'm like, I got into The Wire again, and HBO series, and I would dream about like some violent stuff, even though I try to clear my head. So it really depends on what I'm watching, and then I'll wake up and go, okay, that's not a nightmare. That's actually something. I'm very susceptible what I hear before I go to bed.
Yeah.
So I tried to listen
Good thing to know.
Yeah, and I try to listen to Thich Nhat Hanh or something that's like kind of, enough to put me to bed, but also to kind of
refresh your palate.
Yeah, refresh my palate. Yeah. So, yes.
All right. Unless you have any comments that we want to share right now, then I'm going to ask you another question.
Yeah.
So, speaking of bed, what is on your nightstand?
I like everybody else. I do not.
You don't have a nightstand. I need to change that question. What do you have next to the place that you're sleeping? Whoa, brain not working.
I have my girlfriend Melissa.
Aww.
And pillows, and lots of pillows.
It's a good book.
Yeah. So.
You don't have like your phone charger, a cup of water, a book, maybe?
No, not really. I leave everything in the. Yeah.
I feel like what I want to do is before every show, I want to make everyone take a picture of their bed and then be like, what is next? What is that in that picture?
I have a doorknob next to my picture. I have a door.
Wow, that's very personal. Thank you for sharing that.
That's a door.
I can't believe you opened up about that.
So I know, I was like, well,
I'm just kidding. It's okay. It's a random question. Some people keep like specific books. It's kind of like asking a woman what's in your purse. Or I guess, because we'll have, hand sanitizer or...
One thing I do know, you never ask Weeza that question.
Weeza?
Here we have about a dream.
Okay. The last dream was of a woman in the woods calling my name, saying that I need to ring a bell, that she's coming, my true love. She's in a gothic gown. My ball rolled into the woods and I felt power, just not power I know really, in my dream. Wow, that sounds like a cool dream.
Yeah.
Very powerful.
That's a great dream.
I love that. Yeah.
And usually, we usually have dreams like that too. But I usually
dreams are coolest.
Yeah, I mean, and those dreams, like like I said, those are cool dreams because you can actually go back and look. I'm not into other people's interpretations of dreams. I'm more into like what you're interpreting, because your symbolic things are your personal symbolic, right? Not because I saw a chicken, I'm gonna it meant that I'm afraid, or chickens are strong too.
We watched the show tonight and we talked about chickens.
Yeah. But what I mean, like, but I would definitely go back and see what that feels to you I love dreams because they're riddles. They really are. They're something that is calling you, and if you learn how to read them, they're perfectly. They'll give you the answer. It's your subconscious giving you the answer to what your question is. You just got to learn what they are, and sometimes things that are dark aren't dark. And because I have a lot of dark dreams, and, symbolism of darkness, and but I realize that it doesn't mean what it because I've died many times in my dreams. I've surrendered many times in my dreams, and they don't mean what they mean. Because surrender in the Buddhist fashion, it means that you just are giving, just okay, whatever, and then you feel that power, like, okay, well, those thoughts aren't haunting me anymore. But thank you, Ryan.
In which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. Do you know that song? I find it hard to tell you. You don't know Mad World? Oh, I've got to sing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
A Mad World. That's the song I'm trying to get out there. Yeah, I know. I'll do that. Sometimes I'll tell Michael or someone, like, I dreamt about this, or, it'll sound really dark. He's like, oh, that must have been really sad. Or, oh, what a great dream. But it's like getting the feeling that you get from the dream. And like, for example, a couple weeks back, I had a dream that I was walking in the woods and there was a bear next to me. And I was like terrified and not sure why the bear would not stop walking next to me, and just like wanting it to leave, kind of like when you're around a big scary dog that you're like, okay, just don't act afraid, Melissa. But you just really want it to go away. And I woke up and I was like, I'm going to take some power from that. That's actually really cool. I feel like I was being walked and I wanted to be afraid, but this energy was like, oh no, this is power. You do not have to be afraid. And I took from it this very empowering vibe. So yeah, I love the idea of interpreting our own dreams. Okay.
Yeah.
One more question for you. What is an ordinary moment in your day that fills you with gratitude?
Oh, sorry. All these buttons push. An ordinary moment in the day that
Fills you with gratitude.
spending time with my girlfriend, my partner, my life partner. Just becoming the person that she is the most thoughtful, caring person, and the most I would say empathic person. Something that I strive for, but sometimes it's just natural to her, and so. Where I'm trying to I feel people's feelings, and no, she really does. So it's nice to be around someone that kind of puts me in my place that way. And but that's just something I mean, people will call it ordinary. Having an ordinary day is a beautiful thing. So
I love that. That's such a cool answer.
Yeah.
And I say that both being in a relationship and knowing it's easy to forget how beautiful it is to have that partnership, and knowing you're Melissa and knowing she's pretty incredible. Like, you are really lucky, and she's lucky too. I'm not saying like,
wow,
you really
okay.
like but I've just always loved her, and that's so true. Like, what a gift that you get to learn from each other, and I think that's kind of the best partnership, where you're with someone who challenges you to be the person you really wanted to be anyway.
Yeah, sometimes you can't. I fucking hate this person. She's like, you shouldn't hate that person. I'm like, oh, okay, but but I like what and what Carissa says is also true. I mean, I really love a fresh cup of coffee, and that just makes me feel like, okay, I mean, I don't know, these things I think in our lives that we really need to think about, like what make us feel good in this time too, right? In any moment in time, because these are the things that we should cherish too. We should cherish every moment of our life. And I try by breathing when I know that I'm like off in another place, I really try to take a deep breath and go, this is where I'm at. And this is where, this is the moment in time. I try to still slow down time just by being present myself.
Yeah. Ooh, got the red pill, blue pill questions going on. How sure are you that your waking life is not the dream state? Well, as Don Miguel Ruiz would say, we are always dreaming, always in a dream.
Or Bauhaus, the band, life is but a dream, right? Life is but a dream. So
life is but a dream.
And that's the truth. Like, if you go and like if you plan something, right? And let's say you plan a vacation, you plan to go and traveling somewhere, and you wait all this whole year, and then all of a sudden you're on this trip, and you're going, and this thing you waited for the whole year, and you're on this trip, and you're doing this thing, and then a week later you're back, and then it's like, it felt like a dream, right? It feels like a dream, and I think life is a dream. It really is that moment, and if you slow down time in life, you can see so many things. You really can. If you walk and you look at everything all around you, that walk will be twice as in the present moment, because you're looking at everything. You're looking at things that you never looked at before. So, and that's what I do. I do a lot of walking meditation, because I'm not a very good person to sit down. I do it in the beginning. I do wake up, and I do the smiling at the morning. I do my thoughts in the morning. I scan my body for anxieties in the morning and say, what are you getting anxious today about? And I become friends with my anxieties. So I'm like, okay, what are we going to do today? What do you, like sometimes it's like an annoying voice. Sometimes it's funny. I'm like, but hold on a second. I'm down with the Ruiz. Yeah.
The Ruiz brothers.
Yeah. And Dominic is another one that I mentored on for the live stream shows too. Yeah. Awesome. So he does a really cool show, and he's playing these, it's called COVID loops, and Roberto's is with the Wonder Show. And I'm really proud of these people, these friends, because it is about COVID-19 and the messaging and the hope, not just the despair, because everybody can put on the despair, but these are very entertaining shows where they sing songs and they do some PSAs and they talk about mental health, they talk about, but also entertaining you at the same time. So it's not just facts. So let me drop this real quick it's a long one, so can you read that one?
So Ryan said, my dreams over the course of childhood was a sword in front of a greystone, my trophy, because every time I dreamt, I met a new challenger. Ended at 12 with being dropped from diamonds, bronze into this world. Happy it's over. It felt so real. Thanks for letting me share that. Well, thanks for sharing that. I think it's really interesting to dive into dreams from childhood too. And I think that, I love this idea that children are closest to the spirit world, just like those close to death can be. And in turn, I think when we have that awareness, both of, the other side and also maybe our truest nature, of course, might be as well, because we're different.
Yeah. I remember, and the thing is, like, I think you remember you have recurring dreams, right? You have recurring dreams that go through your whole life. I remember one was of the term surrender in Buddhism, right? And so I had this dream one time. It was the end of the surrender dream. So I had all these dreams that I just would not let go of. Like, I can't do this. I got to fight it, And one time I had this dream where I was running around and I came to the side of the ocean and I saw this whale, right, going breaching and do this thing. And I started following the whale and I got really close to the edge and the rock collapsed underneath me and I fell into the ocean with the whale and I was drowning. I couldn't breathe. And I remember the term surrender in the dream. And I was like, just give it up. You can't breathe. You're going to, you're drowning. And I just kept remembering, just surrender to your thoughts, surrender to life, whatever it is. And I did. And in the dream, I surrendered and I realized that I could breathe underwater and I swam with the whale and we kind of played together. And when I woke up, it really was something that I pushed through. Because I always had these dreams about that. Like I always fought. And sometimes, in that point in my life, I surrendered to these certain feelings that I had too. So
yeah. I love that. Thanks for sharing that. And thanks everyone who opened up about their favorite things or their childhood dreams. And we're always just so grateful for the interaction that you guys give us. And
so I'm still like, I hope I don't look like Yoda, but I'll take that as a compliment. Jedi shit.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And, and like I said, I love everybody out there, and I'm really happy that we're keep going. And it is a cycle. I think it's one of those cycles that we've, unfortunately have come to. But, we will march on and we will defeat this thing if we don't, we'll come out on top though. I mean,
we will.
And we'll talk about it one time. It'll be like, do you remember that time when, the Rona was rampant and, we were doing all this stuff, but.
Oh my gosh.
So stick in there. Yeah. And we will, and I really do, and I appreciate you, Melissa, even in your, a crow and a chicken getting along. That means anybody can get along, right? Or is it a duck? Someone said a duck today, so I don't know.
I think it's a fish and a bird. That's what we should really be. One of us needs to be a fish. Then we'll be a true example of like people from different worlds creating a show together. But yeah, thank you. Yes. Thank you, Ruben, for all the stuff you put together. It's really cool to see the things that I send you, what you create out of them. And I know you spend a lot of time on this hour-and-a-half show just so that we can have some zen and some changing of molecules and some peace. So you do a great job with that. We're grateful for you.
And I'm grateful to you. I'm grateful to everybody out there for sticking around and listen to us talk. And thank you for sharing your feelings and being vulnerable out there. And, and I really appreciate it. So, and Chris will have you back on here for the sensationalist. No, how do you say that? Sensationalism? No, sensationalist. Like the.
You mean, like sensationalized? Like we just want to hear more stories.
Like the dirty backstories of
encore.
Yes.
Salacious. I think
Salacious,
that's
yes. Of being kicked out of Madonna Sing, of all these stories of, writers.
Ah,
Because I really love the minds of writers, too. So that's...
they are crazy.
yeah. Good stuff, people.
Thank you
Yes.
for joining us, everybody.
Yeah.
And hey, have a great holiday. I know that going into this, it's a lot different than you probably thought it would look. So whatever you're doing, be safe. Know that you're loved, you're not alone, and that things will get better. Things will get different for sure. And Raquella, have a great night.
And Raquella is moving to Sacramento soon, so Sacramento will be a greater place with her in here. I know moving is stressful, so we're with you.
Yes.
And I can't wait to take our walks, like we said. I'd get to know your dog a little more. So
Oh my gosh.
safe, like 6 feet away, of course. So
That would be a nice walk to over here, to be a fly on the wall for.
yeah, and so we'll be here Friday, the day after.
Yeah, we'll
when
see you
no
guys
one's
next
around.
week.
Yeah, so should we end it on a sensitive song, acoustic song, or should we go a little more... Oh, wait. She's here now, see?
She's
So-
here.
Yeah.
Boo Boolicious. Boo Boo's her dog.
Oh,
Boo Boo's the cutest dog.
see, I'm like, okay, well, I
He's
guess
really
I guess
the
I have a
dog
new
itself.
nickname, but
She's saying, I'm here, Boo Boo. No,
Mm.
she and Boo Boo are here. And I think, is it Sammy? We
Yeah.
have another dog. There's another dog in the mix there too. But, well, you guys, thank you so much for joining us. Ruben, I will let you choose the music. Whatever energy you want to end on. I trust your judgment. And
we're gonna end on Footprints in the Sand. How's that?
ooh,
Good night, everybody.
I like it. Good night, everybody. Have a great holiday. Be safe.
Thank you, everybody.
Take care of each other.
Oh, it's a guitar song.
Marlo, peace and love to everyone. Gratitude for you too.
Thank you, everybody.
I want you to just sing the song with that microphone.
I don't know the song.
Let's
Just make up words.
That's next week.
behind.
Okay. I would love that.
Karaoke night.
Can you somehow get that microphone to my house so I can have this voice?
There's something else.
Okay. There you go.
Thank you for coming to Cali Cocktail Hour, where you'll be healed with the visions and the vibrations of Melissa Funky Chicken, Canal, and Cuervo Suave. Have a good night, everybody. We love you. This is Cali Cocktail Hour signing out. Peace,
Have a
love
good week.
to everyone.
Oh my gosh, that was awesome. What happened to the music?
That was it.
Okay.
For some reason,
it wanted to. Oh, sorry.
It's okay. We don't have to have a fade out. Hey,
Yes.
everybody, have a great week. We love you. Take care of yourselves. Be kind to each other. You are
And-
loved. You're not alone.
Good night to everybody. We'll see you next Friday on Cali Cocktail
Bye.
Social.